Hello there. And good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I apologize in advance if the stream is a little bit lukewarm in tone today. I'm not feeling 100%. It's kind of come on fairly quickly in the last, little bit. I mean, I've been feeling bad all day, but I've been feeling extra bad in, the last, I would say, 10 minutes. So we'll see how things get on, and I might be a short stream today. We'll see depending on how things go. Anyways, but by way of an update, here's what we have so far of this week's painting. I hope you like it. It's so stupid, and it makes me very happy. Anyways, hello Leaky, welcome in. Hello. Also, sorry I was a little bit late muting the mic as well. My moderator slash spouse got home as I was making my tea, and not to be gross and prioritize my in-person relationships or anything, but I wanted to say hi to him and give him a big hug and stuff and ask how his day was, because we were married and we live together, and I those sorts of things are important to me. But I'm here now. Hello. hello. Leaky says, please look after yourself. I promise I will. But I do want to paint some more of this very silly seat maquette. I am so scared that I am going to do a terrible job of this and potentially get it wrong. I think I am deliberately getting it wrong, because the actual pattern is even more confusing and difficult than this. And this is my attempt at simplifying it so that I can actually do it and not lose my G-dang mind. So, for whatever that's worth. Anyways, I might not stay too long, says Leaky. Been on a course all day. 5+ hours of Zoom is a lot. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't blame you if you want to just, not be looking at a monitor for a while. That is a lot. That is, I feel like, honestly, it really, I guess it depends on the type of course that it is, but I'm finding lately that, I have a horrible time holding focus, on things like that for that long. I had some, sit in a lecture theater and be talked at about various topics type sort of seminar-y experiences recently. And I think it was about 4 hours long. There was a break in the middle, but it was about 4 hours long. And I will tell you, after the first hour and then going into but probably about half an hour away from the first coffee break of that session, my ability to actually focus and absorb what the people were saying was really beginning to wane. I mean, obviously, my attention to a certain extent is interest-led. So if it's something that I know is not going to be useful to me and is not something that I need to know, but also not something that I have, any kind of intense interest in, it's going to be really difficult for me to hold focus for the entire time. And I'm just do. If you look at my notes and it happens to be a sketch of 2 of my favorite characters from Star Trek, then, listen, doodling helps me hold focus, so shush. Anyways, it was a mental health first aider course. It was a lot. That is a lot. That's actually, I feel like that's a lot to pack into 5 hours, because mental health is a very complex and challenging discipline, I feel like. Yeah, this afternoon was a struggle and mostly involved hiding yawns. Oh, you poor thing. But also 100% relatable. I have to mute the mic for a second. I'm really sorry. But, good on you for learning mental health first aid. That's really, really rad. I love that. Unless it was mandatory, in which case, I'm sorry. But also, that's still rad. Anyways, as for me, today, notwithstanding, boring life stuff I had to do, I did a little bit of... I've been trying to prep for, Hollow Knight Art Month, which is next month. and I really want to get some things done before the month begins, because I'm going to be absent for a chunk of the month, and I want to have at least those paintings complete before like the month begins. I'm trying to keep things relatively simple. I always say this, but I'm hoping that a lot of the backgrounds can be kind of a little bit abstract, a little bit sketchy, and hopefully through context clues and that kind of thing you'll be able to figure out where it's supposed to be. Apologies if the light just changed. Thank you, sweetie. Apparently the overhead light in the room was not switched on. Is that a Lucozade Sport, my love? Yeah. Delightful. We need to buy a case of that, because I'm feeling... I don't know, every time I have one in my hand, I chug it at a much greater speed than anything else, which I think tells me that I need more electrolytes in my body. Oh, damn. Speaking of chugging things, I just realized something. A BRB chat. Oh, no! Just so you know, everything's fine. I just realized that I have meds that I need to have taken by this time of day that I did not. I have a new med schedule, and I'm about 2 days into it, so I'm not used to having to take medicine in the middle of the afternoon. So, that's one. Sorry, one more time. Okay. Oh shoot. Oh, okay. Oh. Sorry, I tasted that one. And my tea is quite warm, so I need to sip. So please don't leave. At least my tea is delicious. It's lemon and ginger. Oh Jesus, Murphy, that was nasty. Leaky says not mandatory, but work here encouraging more men to do the training. Oh, that's rad. That's rad. Well, good on you for volunteering in that case. Sweet. Anyways, hi Rex, welcome in. I'm fine. Sorry about that. I forgot to take my meds before the stream. I felt that. So Leaky, holy empathy, Batman. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have muted for that portion of the stream. At least my face, I don't have a face cam on, so you're not seeing me making all of my, like, yuck faces while I'm trying to get it down. Oh, pretzels. Okay, anyways, hi. How's it going? I'm fine. My body is falling apart. But other than that, I'm okay. But it's it's nice to see y'all. But yeah, I'm trying to get ahead of some of Hollow Knight Art Month by getting, like, sketches and stuff done beforehand. I don't know how much I want to spoiler for things that are, like, because I'm having to do basically sort of about 2 weeks of it in like the middle of the month before the month starts because I'm going to be away. And I will say this is how much I have for Relic Seeker. Wow. It looks just like them. And I'm thinking of deleting this and changing it anyways. But I wanted to do Relic Seeker Scrunge. Looking for something in their house full of relics. With the, sort of like... I know exactly where everything is. I have a system, they say. Because I feel like they've got a system. I relate. I have a system. It doesn't always work. But I have one. And I know where most things are. Anyways. So that's the start of Relic Seeker, but it might go away. Zotling. So I realized something as I was sitting at this desk doing something other than artwork yesterday. And that's, I've got this bit of scrap paper that's just got some little swatches where I was trying to like mix together paint colors, and these little blobbits, I was like, what if I just painted a whole bunch of random shapes onto a canvas and then made them into various shapes of Zotling? And I tested it out, and I kind of love it. And I think potentially they're going to be very stupid and fun. So that's the plan for Zotling, is to just paint a whole bunch of watercolor blobs, let them dry, and then sort of draw Zote shapes on top of them. It's either going to be the best thing I've ever done or incredibly bad. I don't know. And then I also have sketches so I've got parts of Relic Seeker, I've got parts of Sands of Karak, and Mount Fae. Obviously, I'm drawing the giant bird thing. I mean, you can't give me a giant benevolent bird thing and not have me draw the giant benevolent bird thing. I do not remember the name of the giant benevolent bird thing. It is bird. Kind of. I mean, it's not a bird. It's some kind of bird bug thing. I don't know. But it is friend-shaped. And I was like, I have to draw it. I made it extra fluffy. I'm very excited. And that's all I've got so far for Hollow Knight Art Month. So, wish me luck. Oh, Rex, thank you very much for the 7-stream steak. The pigeon. Yes, that is their correct name. Pigeon. The absolute pigeon. I know that in the lore of the game, they're probably not technically a bird. I don't care. They're a bird in my heart. They're bird adjacent enough that they count as an honorary bird, I think. Anyways, should I start painting, or should I dither for the next, 33 minutes, have another break, and then start painting? No, I'm gonna start, you know what, I'm gonna break with tradition and start painting. Controversial take, I know, but I also don't know if I'm gonna go on for super long today. Not that I ever go long on an art stream, but I might go even shorter than usual because I'm really not feeling very well. And I don't want to push it. I did have a nice bowl of porridge earlier, which helped, but porridge can only do so much. So yeah. Anywho, how many, just out of curiosity, so with regard to the Hollow Knight Art Month prompt list doodad, if you haven't seen it, it is, you can find it at this website. And it's something I'm going to try and do all of again this year. How many prompts do we think I can shoehorn in, someone having a snack, or drinking a nice cup of hot cocoa, or just generally being friends? Because the answer is a resounding potentially all of them. I'm going to try my best. I don't know. I'm in a mood that my heart is veering towards some prompt fills that feel kind of sad, and I'm like, nip that in the bud. No. No, take that sadness and turn it into silly. So, expect silly from me, for that. Anyways, okay, I have to try and remember how this pattern works. So I have one going to Doot, so I have to have one going to Doot. Okay, so that means that there's this one, and there's a square that's being obscured by that pillar, so that's fine. Rex says, I'm doing 31 days of Sherma, I'll make it work. I have the utmost faith in my heart that you absolutely can make that work. That's perfect, and I love it, and I'm so glad. That is damn delightful. And I'm sure if you do that, you will do if you do that, you can pull it off. That is delightful. I haven't even figured out where Sherma is going to come. Actually, no, I take that back. I know exactly one for sure where Sherma is going to feature. Because it's one of my favorite moments I've experienced in the game so far. It was one of the most delightfully serendipitous things that I almost cried with joy. Because I love Sherma with my entire heart. He is such a sweet little guy. And I love him, and he's the best. Anyways. Ooh! Rex says, I got a nice felt paper texture in Rebel. So Sherma is drawing their diary on discarded pilgrim shawls. Rex, that's so cute! You are, my friend, an absolute creative genius. That is delightful, and I am so here for it. Heck, yes. Oh my goodness, sorry. Okay, I think I'm remembering to do this correctly. I think I am. I hope I am. I'm going to have to pull up at some point my reference for once I finish the brown ones. I'm going to have to pull up like a reference again for this seat pattern. If anyone doesn't get the reference, by the way, just for anyone who hasn't seen the previous iterations of this being worked on, it is this is Unner. They are a goblin. And they are riding on an actual line that exists on the London Overground that runs between Gospel Oak and Barking. Has for many years been colloquially known as the Goblin. It has a new official. I think it's the Suffragette line now because they gave all of the Overground lines like actual official names for honestly like ease of knowing which bit of the Overground you need to be looking for, which is awesome. I think that's really useful. But. This is the goblin to me because I think that's cute. Anyways, Leaky says not me getting confused with Shermer, Illinois, where the Breakfast Club was set. I had no idea. I've seen the Breakfast Club like at least 2 or 3 times. Did not remember where it was set. That was just it felt very anywhere in America to me. That sort of like if you said that it was like, I don't know, Primrose, Ohio, I'd have been like, okay. If you'd said that it was I don't know, Woodlot, Indiana, I'd be like, yeah, sure. But apparently it's Illinois. Cool. Q2, thank you for the posture check. Also, hi! It's wonderful to see you. Welcome in. Hello. I hope you are well. I am stretching my spine. Oh my god, it hurts. Oh, my body is so broken. I honestly think I lightly sprained this finger or something because like it hurts when I try to do basic things with this finger in particular. Like right here, it just hurts. Like if I tried to open this hand cream tube the way that I normally would with like sort of squeezing it with my that would hurt. I'm gonna not do that right now. I'm gonna do it on over here. Maybe I just open things weird. I don't know, but yeah. I have to be really careful because everything makes this finger be ouchy. Maybe I should get a little splint for it. I don't know, but that just feels inconvenient. Yes, anyways, I hope you are well, and thank you very much for the posture check. Ow, oof, ouch. Oh, I'm so broken. Anyways, thank you for that. Leaky says, I only remember the location because it's mentioned in Anthony Michael Hall's voiceover at either the start or the end of the film. I can't remember. Cool. Apparently I don't remember the movie at all. I definitely do, but I don't remember the name of that is such a granular memory. But then sometimes, like, these random details do stick with us for unknown reasons, so, fair. There's definitely things that stand out to me in, like, one film or another, and I'm like, why that thing? I don't know, but here we are. Anyways. What have I done? I'm trying to think if there's anything noteworthy that I did this week, and I don't know if there is. I think I've done some sketching for Hollow Knight month, and I worked on this painting on Monday's stream, and between then I've kind of just not been feeling very well, so I spent more time than usual in bed. And then watched some old movie reviews of films I haven't seen. Is that normal? Is that like a normal source of, like, I will watch cooking videos for, like, foods that I know I'm never gonna cook. People being like, and here's how to get the best out of these different varieties of mushroom. And I'm like, cool, tell me more. I'm never gonna do it. I just like learning stuff, I guess. But, yeah. I don't know. I also will sometimes sit down and watch, like, a review of a film or a video game or a TV program that I have zero interest in, but I'm like, yeah, tell me your critical thoughts about it. Why not? Sometimes it's just fun knowing stuff. Especially when it's self-directed and not mandatory training. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm really sorry about my cough. As I said earlier, this might be a shorter stream, but I did really want to work on this and I wanted to hang out with some cool people, so here we are. Hello. I'm still trying to figure out, Eddie, thank you very much for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely lurk, and thank you also for the hydrate. How did you know I needed it? Is because I keep coughing. This is lemon ginger tea again with a little honey. Because it's good for the throat. Yeeth. What else was I going to say? Ooh, I'm having a chickpea curry for dinner tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. Gonna do it in like a tomato-y kind of sauce and add some peas. I think that'll be really nice. I got the fancy chickpeas that come in a jar, because they were on sale, and I don't know. I tried buying avocados recently, and I was honestly really disappointed. But also a lot of avocados in my local supermarket at the moment are coming from a country that I'm not currently buying from for, like, political human rights reasons. And I just don't feel like my desire to buy to eat avocado toast is worth compromising, like, my political convictions. I don't know. I guess I'm just cool and sexy like that. But my point being, oh yeah, buying a slightly expensive ingredient. I did buy the expensive jar of chickpeas. Though to be fair to the expensive jar of chickpeas, it is huge. It is a large jar of chickpeas. In as much as normally I think I would use I use like half of this jar of chickpeas to make a meal instead of like the entire like tin of chickpeas. So at least when it's on sale, it works out to not that much more expensive than the regular chickpeas, but for certain things I think it is much nicer in terms of you don't have to put in as much effort to get a good flavor out of it. But I haven't figured this out. I haven't figured this out because I'm confused by things like kilowatt hours and stuff. But there was a period of time where I bought a bag of dried chickpeas, which honestly the best tastiest chickpeas are the ones that you just cook yourself from dried. 100% best choice. but hugely inconvenient because you have to soak them overnight. And then you have to simmer them in, you have to, you know, drain that, rinse them, simmer it on the stove with a, you know, sort of various aromatics if you so choose. And I so choose because I think it's nice. Add a little bit of, add some onion, olive oil, salt, and some lemon peel. And then just let that cook for like 2 hours. Stunning. Absolutely stunning chickpeas. And the stock you end up with, incredible. Like, don't throw that away. Oh my god. Use that in soup or something. It is delicious. However, that is a lot of time for the gas to be running on the hob. And I don't know how much money am I expending to run the hob for 2 hours versus just buying a tin of chickpeas. I do not know. I don't know how easy it would be for me to do the maths on that, but I hate maths, so I haven't done it. And so I guess that maybe I'm paying extra for the convenience of of like a tin or a jar of chickpeas. I don't know. But the chickpeas that come in a jar are really, really good, so I'm making a curry with them tonight. Anyways, Cranky, thank you very much for the onion lurk. I hope you have a nice time eating onions, cooking onions, harvesting onions. Something to do with onions, apparently. Pickling them, maybe. Delightful. Anyways, I've never been a pickled onion enjoyer. At least not in and of themselves. I would never be like, ooh, yes, you know, like those little onions that you can get pickled here in the UK in like that brown vinegar. No, it is not for me. I find those alarming. That being said, my grandmother used to make like a mixed vegetable pickle that had like cucumbers and peppers and onions and like cauliflower in it. And with all of those things and the specific, like, pickling brine that she used, it was stunning. Absolutely stunning. So, you know. Anyways. Cranky says, yeah, if you hate math, all math is hard math. Yup. I mean, listen, I used to, when I was a child, don't talk about your ages, everybody. I was a little math wizard. I scored ridiculously high at maths when I was very, very little. And then they got into the, okay, but what if all of this shiz was abstract? And at that point I was like, no, they lost me. And I just completely lost interest, nearly flunked a course, and then stopped taking it forever. So, yeah, I am very smart. Grab a purple onion like an apple and go hardcore. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, my mouth is crying. No, thank you. Lucius says, London Transport never looked as cute as this. Oh, thank you. I hope I can do it justice. But also cute. Wish me luck. Also, hello, welcome in. I hope you're well. Rex says, if it's a gas job, the math shouldn't be in kilowatt hours. Yeah, I know. I forgot I had a gas hob for a minute. I don't know what it would be in I don't know what it would be in because the volume of gas in the States is an imperial unit. I don't know because we don't have our gas meter is weird and scary and outside of the house and is in a little box that's always full of spiders, so I avoid checking the gas meter as much as possible until we need to give a meter reading. At which point I will go with my moderator/spouse downstairs to the meter sometimes for moral support so he doesn't have to do it all by himself. Anyways. Ooh, baby gourd pickle. Oh, that sounds really good, Cranky. That sounds really good. They're like bite-sized squash that have been pickled. That sounds so good. Also, hello, Black Booty. Welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a good Thursday. Cranky says, in the US it's measured in horsepower. How much gas could a horse squeeze out of its butt in an hour? Imperial is easy. Yeah, I don't know why anyone ever switched over to metric. It's just based on the measurement of the average horse flatulence. Sure, why not? Why not? I love that. That is terrifying. Anyways, okay. If you notice that these squares are not all the same height, no, you didn't. If you did notice, then you don't care because this is painted by hand, and I'm not a seat maquette designer, okay? Rex says that's car gas. Natural gas is MCF or million cubic feet. Wow. I am confusion. Anyways. I'm also confusion as to what's going on with these lines. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, wait. Wait. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I've reached the bit where the seat cushion kind of does its, like, burnt thing, where the seat comes out and it's not all just straight up and down anymore. And my brain was having a hard time extrapolating which lines were what, so I'm gonna have to go real carefully for this portion, because it's getting confusing. But I think it's like this. And if you think to yourself, well, that's not a square, too bad. I'm trying my best. Anyways, I do think that this part of the reason that I wanted to do this at all is that I just think that the, like, color scheme of the Overground is really nice. It's like brown and orange and green. It's just pleasant. But yeah. Anyways, that's so many cubic feet. Would it be easier or harder to fit shoes if our feet were cubes? No math means no squares too, of course, says Cranky. Yeah, that sounds better to me. My head hurts. Anyways. Okay. To my great sadness, I currently have a piece of, like, stock music from an advert that I saw on YouTube stuck in my head. This seems to happen to me a lot. I don't like it. Yes, some of these squares are very much the wrong shape, but let's try not to think too hard about that. Can't tell me what a square is or isn't without math, says Cranky. I mean, listen, I know that maths are important. I know that it is, you know, kind of integral to a lot of the things that exist in the world and how the world functions and yada yada yada, blah blah blah, but also, I don't know, I'm a painter. My vocation is not mega mathsy, and that's okay. That's fine, actually. I mean, it does get a little mathsy sometimes. I did attempt to do measurements when I put together this paint palette and then failed. Because I ended up just kind of going off and improvising anyways because the, my scale wasn't... My scale sometimes has trouble jumping off of, like, whatever the starting number is when you're working in very small quantities of things, and it'll kind of, you know, you'll be like, okay, how is this not 0.1 of a gram yet? And then it'll jump to 0.3, and you're like, well, that's 3 times as much as I needed to add! Oh no! That kind of thing, which is a little bit frustrating. But yeah, I do need to know maths for things like sewing more so than drawing and painting, I think. Though I did bust out my measure. I mean, this is indeed the measuring tape that I use for sewing, that happens to be on the desk right now. I do have to do more maths for sewing because To be honest, I do a lot of historical sewing that tends to be predicated on a lot of squares, rectangles, and triangles, which makes it a lot easier for me in terms of cutting pattern, measuring pattern pieces. So yeah, love that for me. But anyways, waste management is important too, says Cranky. Yes, but I don't need to know garbage truck scheduling for small municipalities. This is also true. Rex says, my gas stove only accounts for about $5 to $10 a month of my gas bill. The other $45 is for the privilege of having someone sell me gas. Oh, yeah. That's pretty much it. I was like, damn, your bills are small. And then you dropped the second sentence, and I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. I remember when I first moved to this country, I was so baffled. Because when I was getting set up with the electric company, I was on the phone with someone from customer service getting my account set up. And she said, okay, so how much do you want to pay per month? And I'm like, I just moved to this country. I don't know what an average electricity bill for like a single occupant 1-bedroom apartment in this area would be at this time of year in this location. So like, I'm gonna need you to give me a ballpark figure. And she was like, oh, probably about 65 pounds. And I was like, okay, because I don't know. I haven't lived here before. I do not know how much the average electricity bill should be for one person in a 1-bedroom flat in this country. I don't know what bills look like. Also, at that point, I had never lived alone in a 1-bedroom flat. So I was like, question marks? Anyways. So my bill comes in like several months from then, and it's like, oh, clearly I've been using about half of the electricity I'm paying for every single month. I have a massive surplus on my account with these people that is presumably sitting in their banks and accruing them interest instead of me. I didn't like this. So I eventually spoke to someone at customer service again and said, hey, so about that, clearly my monthly payment for electricity is about twice as high as it should be based on my average uses. So could you please reduce my monthly payment amount because of that, you know? And he was like, okay, well, the lowest I'm allowed to reduce it to is like 45 pounds. And I'm like, that's still significantly more than I ever use. Why are you making me pay so much more money? He was like, oh, I can't do it without a manager. I'm like, I am paying you too much money. I do not want to pay you too much money. Anyways, I don't know what it is I said to him that managed to allow him to flip the "you are paying us too much money" button. But my next bill was like £5. And I think the bill after that was a whole ass goose egg. And it was just a goose egg for a long period of time because I had so much of a surplus that I had overpaid for my electricity. That they didn't actually charge me any money for like 6 months. I mean, that was nice because suddenly I wasn't having to pay for electricity at all because I'd prepaid. But man, was it a ball ache to actually get them to do that. It was real stupid. And the system sucks and I don't like it. Anyways. But yeah. It's all service and distribution charges, says Rex. I hate it. If you're on a budget as opposed to per unit charges, the math gets harder. Yeah, it is confusion, and I don't like it. And currently in my home right now, in real life, my gas meter is broken. And that's kind of a problem, but we have tried to get someone from the gas company to come out and repair the meter, and they haven't yet, so... Oh, well! Hey, Freddie, welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. And hello. I am still painting in this darn seat I don't know why it didn't occur to me that this was going to take about 100,000 years when I decided to do this as a subject. It should have, but I didn't think of it. To be fair, the last time I drew the interior of a public transit vehicle, it was a Toronto TTC tram. And their seat maquette is just like a solid color. So it's just like, okay, I just paint all the seats in this sort of like warm red color. Cool, that's nice and easy. Anyways, Rex says, the budget help be consistent though. Like my gas bill goes up like $100 per month in the deep winter because of the furnace. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you are using more, but oof. Oof ba-boof. I remember again in this first flat that I lived in the United Kingdom. Again, I was just a baby. I was just a baby in a new country where everything was different, including the thermostats. And I just had an incredibly cold house for the entirety of winter. And I just spent as little time at home as possible in the winter, in a very cold flat. Because I did not want my bills to go up because I wasn't, like, I was very underemployed. I was on, like, an 8 hours contract at the time at a terrible job that I hated. So that was really fun. But also, I didn't want to break it, and I couldn't figure out how the thermostat worked in that flat. And I was just like, maybe if I just don't touch it, it'll be fine. And I just had like a big woolly poncho that I had on all the time on top of my clothes in my house. It was great. Anyways, Cranky says, oh, I just got a happy accident. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. That's rad. Good for you. I'm being very careful not to paint over my little goblin, who looks so cool and very stylish in their little cool leather biker vest. I'm sure we all agree. I hope they look as polite as they are here, because they are very polite. I mean, they will say a swear if the situation demands it. But they're also just a chill, friendly little guy for the most part. Anyways. Yeah. Okay. Trying really hard to get these angles right, and I'm genuinely not sure that I am, but oh well. I would like at the very least to be able to finish the color brown today, and we'll see. We'll see what else happens beyond that, but that is my greatest goal at the moment, is just to complete the color brown. That would make me feel happy and good. Anyways. I feel very silly. There were like a number of other things I really wanted to get painted this month that I haven't had a chance to. And at this stage, I'm probably not gonna, because I've got this to do on stream. And then I guess whatever else we do after this on stream. And then I've got, let me see, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. At 13 to 14 of Hollow Knight Art Month pieces that I need to finish before the 10th of May, not including the ones from like days 1 to 9 of the month, which I will be doing during the month of May, I hope. Mild panic. Am I giving myself too much to do? Can I just concede that I don't have to do every single prompt word? No! Because it's one rule for everybody else and a completely different rule for me. And as much as, and I think some people do get confused about this, and I know Kirsty has talked about this before, that like, you don't have to do every single prompt. This is just a fun leisure activity you can choose to do or not. I remember seeing there were people on like Discord and that kind of thing last year who would post, like, let's say it's day 16, and they're posting something for day 15, and they're like, I'm so sorry, it's a day late, I'm really sorry, I was busy, and it's like, it's fine. You have nothing to apologize for, friend. You don't have to even do all of these. Like, it's okay. It's really cool that you are. But I really hope that nobody's putting, pressure on themselves in that way. Even though I am. So, whoops. Anyways. It's fine, don't worry about it. Deep. Okay. I think we're good. We're going. We're good. I hope I'm doing this correctly. Don't know. Anyways, gonna keep on keeping on because I don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry about my throat again. I don't know if my voice sounds like it, but my throat is really sore today. So I'm gonna have another sip of my good old lemon and gingy. Oh man, that's delicious. It really is. I'm glad I've got it, but yeah. Anyways, Okay. Okay, there's this one. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay, I think it's this one and then this one. Yes, good. I'm talking to myself here because I'm very confused by this pattern still. I've been doing this pattern for so long and I'm still it's going to be so much easier once I've filled in all of the brown ones. Because then I just know that, like, okay, this row is orange, this row is green, this row is yellow, etc., 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 and just go in that order. That is entirely fine. This bit is brain breaking. It's fine. Anyways. Okay. So, as obviously mentioned several times, I am going to be just programming note as well. I am going to be away for a couple weeks in May, and I won't be streaming for those weeks. I'm very sorry in advance. I will miss you all very much. It's always a bit of a scary gamble taking time off from streaming. Because there's always a fear that at least some parts of the audience will not return if you take a break. But also, I need to be able to allow myself to do things like see my family who live in another country. And that country is in another time zone. And that time zone has not the best, at least based on past experience. Not always the best Wi-Fi. It's exacerbated by when we have to use a VPN, but like not the best Wi-Fi. So, I think it would be a very futile exercise my attempting to stream from there, and also I genuinely don't know what our activity schedule is going to look like, but I'm probably going to be out and about, and I don't really want to stream from, the supermarket. I don't have the wherewithal to do that, and also I'm shy, so no. But I'll try and be. I'm going to be posting, like Hollow Knight Armonth stuff, if nothing else, and I'll be around on Discord and all that jazz. So, and also I'm going to be filming some stuff for my next YouTube video, so there's that. But before any of that happens, we're about to have ads, so I'm going to pop on the BRB screen. We'll be back very, very shortly, and, oh yeah, I am filming stuff for a new YouTube video when I go to Canada, so there's that. BRB! What's up, guys? I'm back. Hey. Welcome back, everybody. Hello. Cranky says, oh no, your internet went out. Oh, that sucks. Welcome back, though. Sorry if you asked what the happy accident was and I wasn't there. Apparently I hit the Twitch payment threshold this month without noticing, so surprise money in my account. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. That's fun, says Rex. I never pay attention to that, so I'm always happy when it happens. Yeah. That is a fun happy accident. I love when I get a Twitch payout. Which does happen from time to time. And it's always a nice month when it does. That goes into my, hey, I got paid for something fund. And we'll probably go towards things like art supplies and other stuff for streams and content. I hate calling it content, but 'tis the parlance, don't you know? Anyways, but yeah, that's rad. Congrats, and good job you. Hell yeah, we love to see it. What was I gonna say? I remember actually my moderator / spouse streamed for about 3 months back in like 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. Started a few months before I did, but then decided it wasn't for him and stopped streaming. But I had been subbed to his channel because, you know, my spouse want to get the cute little emote of his face. Then I was like, okay, but I have to stay subbed to you until you hit the, like, payout threshold. Otherwise, Twitch might never send you, like, the money that I've already sent, like, given to you for subs. So, yeah. And I was very sad when that ended. At least I don't think I'm gonna check him to see whether am I still subbed to him? I don't remember. I don't think so, because I haven't seen because I do get notifications when, like, payments come out for the channels I am subscribed to. And I know which ones those are, so, no, I'm scrolling down and I'm in global emote section. So no, sadly, I think his affiliation came to a close. As soon as he hit the payout threshold, cashed that out, and then that was it. Very sad. I should make, I feel like I should have an emote for my moderator / spouse, because, I don't know, personally I love his face, so, yep. Anyways, hello, Nice Tiles, says Dan. Hello, Dan, welcome in, it's lovely to see you. Hello, I hope you are well. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. We are feeling a little subdued and a little bit under the weather, but that's okay. Rex says, I tend to use it on all the DLC for whatever game I'm playing at that time. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I have in the past often used it to, like, purchase games that I will then stream. But that hasn't really been relevant for a while, because I've mostly been playing Silksong. And I already own that, so, I mean, I did use some of my Twitch payout money to buy Dogpile, which I streamed a little while ago. If you were not there for the Dogpile stream, I gazillion% recommend that game, and if you do want to watch the Dogpile stream, it is on my VOD channel, which is here. And for the most part, I don't really understand why anyone watches VODs of my stream. But, you know, every once in a while they do get, like, a dozen or so views on the YouTubes. And I did get a comment on one of my videos once. Oh, biddle boy, that was exciting. But, yeah. That's all there mostly as an archive. Sometimes, genuinely, in case I need to look up something that happened on stream so that I can be reminded of what happened, or if I need to remember something that I did or something that I said, or something funny that happened and I just want to be like, what was the deal with that? I can just go, Was that? Oh, for flip's sake, no. No. Oh, beans. Okay, hold everybody. My USB has pooped its pants apparently. So you're probably not seeing the camera right now. Oh no. Maggie, thank you so much for the 3-stream steak. Thank you so much. Also, hi Maggie. It's lovely to see you. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Oh geez, I'm so hold up. Okay, that's better. See if that I'm fiddling about in the background here. Hopefully that's done. Okay, we're gonna pop back to camera. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to see the painting and movement again. Hey, we did it. It just, I don't know, every once in a while my my USB ports just decide to kick things out. I don't know why. They're just a little fiddly like that. Anyways, Maggie, I hope you're well. Thank you so much for the 3 streams. I really appreciate it. And it's always lovely to see you. You very, very cool person. Anywho. Okay, I am getting kind of close to being done with brown, which feels encouraging, really. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to it. Brown is obviously a very important feature here on the London Overground, but still. Okay. Every once in a while, for reasons I can't quite figure out, this paint just decides to, like, not quite sit cleanly. Like, it wants to kind of pool in little puddles instead of, like, just soaking into the paper. I don't know if that's the paint or the paper, but it's weird that it does it, and I don't like it. Oh well, never mind. It's fine. Okay, need to get a little bit. There's a little bit of a curvature going on here. And as much as this is the bit where the seat kind of, you know, curves at the front. So I'm hoping to create that curvature a little bit. We shall see, I suppose. Oh, and obviously some of this square is obscured by this pillar, so there's just a little bit happening here. But oh geez, I'm on the second to last stripe. That's exciting. The second to last stripe of this particular color, that is to say. I've got so many more stripes to do. I'm feeling very drained, says Maggie. I just have my 2 hardest clients to talk to back today. Not a good scheduling decision on my part. Aw, beans. I hope you're able to avail yourself of some self-care and some chill time and some gentleness following on from that, because I'm sure it's not easy. Hang on, here's, sorry. My neck was itchy. But yeah, I hope that you're able to allow yourself some downtime or some chillness or something a little bit less full on for a bit to recuperate from that. Oh, I have a cancellation now, says Maggie, so I'm gonna eat and maybe prep for Hollow Knight Art Month or play a video game. That is a fantastic idea, and I think we'll do you a world of good, I'm sure. So, good job. Imagine punching them, says Dan. No! I don't think that's the kind of clientele we're talking about. Oh, beans, but maybe, I don't know. Anyways. I'm having some serious, like, I've got a couple of pieces for Hollow Knight Art Month where I've got really clear ideas of what I want to do, and then, like, a bunch of stuff that, are you gonna be painting, or? for Hollow Knight Art Month, or like drawing or digital, or do you know yet? There have only ever been a handful of my clients who I wanted to punch, says Maggie. I'm glad that it hasn't been very many of them, because I think that would probably make work a lot harder. Kick their heads off. No, I'm doing digital, trying to keep it simple, says Maggie. Nice, nice. I'm doing traditional and also trying to keep it simple, and I fully expect that I'll fail at that. But I don't know if I want to tease too much sketch-wise, but I will show you the head of the pigeon. Here's Pigeon. I am drawing Pigeon. And this one I sketched the entire thing, and then I deleted it because I was like, this is bad. And then so here's Hornet, and here's Chakra, and they're just chilling at like Hornet's little cartography corner. But please note that they are availing themselves of a delicious muesli bar as a nutritious snack, because there's been a lot of platforming to get to here. And I think they could both do with a nice sort of delicious high energy treat. Also, I just enjoy a muesli bar. I don't know, or maybe I don't know if it's a muesli bar or a protein bar yet. It depends. It could be a protein muesli bar. Because I've taken to. I actually don't like having them that often. Because I find them kind of too sweet. But when I'm in a pinch and I'm like out and about in the world and I need a snack that is at least not horrifically unhealthy, but also gluten-free, but also is going to give me energy and actually keep me full for large portions of time, because I can't just pick up like a croissant or a vegan sausage roll or anything like that, because all that stuff has gluten in it. So I'm kind of hamstrung. You know, it's like I don't want to just buy a loaf of bread, right? So I've started having like protein bars in my purse for when I have to go out to things, just so I know that I have a snack that I can eat. It needs to be, it needs to be non-perishable. It needs to not be anything I'm allergic to. So they work. And I do like the Bear Bells chocolate caramel bar. It tastes like a Mars bar, except with the mild aftertaste of the artificial sweeteners they use in it, which is how it only has like 3 grams of sugar, even though it tastes like a Mars bar. But I also wish that they made ones that weren't as sweet. But I'm assuming that part of the reason they make them so sweet is if they didn't make them sweet, you'd be able to taste that like chalky that chalky flavor of like the protein powder that's added to it. Hornet's Cartography Corner sounds like a podcast, says Dan. Oh, that would be such a cute podcast. My moderator / spouse has a degree in cartography because he's cool. Maggie says that Chakra's shoulders do you know how many times? How many times I erased and redrew these shoulders to get them to look like that? She is not easy to draw, in my estimation. Partially, probably because I am used to drawing like humanoid characters quite a lot. But also if I'm not drawing humanoid characters, they often tend to be, because I would consider like, in terms of general sort of like proportions and stuff, obviously not like his facial features or like his little frog feet or whatever, but Terry has kind of a humanoid body. Like he's wearing human-ish clothes and that kind of thing. Which if I think too hard about it is a little bit weird. General proportions, salutes, yep. Thank you, Dan. But yeah, if I'm drawing characters that aren't like humanoid-ish, they tend to be more sort of like squat and round. Whereas Chakra is very sort of long and interesting geometric shapes, because she's got obviously like the weird sort of bug body stuff going on. I don't actually know if her torso-y looking stuff, like it looks like some sort of like armor or something, but it might also just be her body. I don't know if she's wearing armor on top of her body or she just looks like that. I don't know. I can't tell. I think she looks really cool, but she is really hard to draw. Also, I gave her little eyelashes. I gave her little eyelashes because she's cute, and I can do that if I want to, and I did. Yeah, anyways. She's also got, like, just incredible, considering how, like, skinny their legs are, she's got incredible leg strength. Because actually, if you look at the way she's, like, sitting when she's sitting down, like writing things on her, writing her maps out and that kind of thing, when you meet up with her, like her butt here is not touching the ground. It's hovering just above the ground. She is fully just popping a squat, which is really impressive, I think, to be able to do that much of it. She's very flexible, clearly, and also has a lot of like leg strength, and probably incredibly good posture as well. So like good for her. Anyways, Huggy Bear, hello, welcome in. Howdy, excuse me, I mean Poshanka. Hello. Also Poshanka. It's lovely to see you. Welcome in. That's just such a fun thing to say. I'm sorry. Anyways. Sorry. Nailed it. Hell yeah. I'm sipping my beverage because I have a cough and my throat is really sore. So I'm having a lemon ginger tea with a little squizzle, a little tiny squeeze of honey. Which is very delicious. And also supposed to be good for when you have a sore throat and a cough and stuff. Strong, yes, says Rex. Posture, I don't know. That can't be good for your knee. That can't be good for your knees. As someone who's been having general knee pain, for the last couple of days, yeah, I would not want to be doing a protracted squat like that. I feel like, I would feel bad, following on from that, but, you know, I don't know, maybe her peoples have really good knees. I think I'll stick with normal sitting, personally. But also, I am like Hornet over 40, so, you know. I mean, we don't know how old Hornet is canonically, but, like, she's for sure over 40. I like that when she first meets Chakra, Chakra's like, child-wielding needle, this is not a safe place to be, and Hornet's like, dude, I'm 49. I'm just short. Jeez. Anyways, then when they get over that, I assume that at some point they start dating. And I love that for them. So, yes. I ship it anyways. Not in any serious way. I will not be writing fan fiction, but I don't know. I think they should just get to hang out and be cool badasses together. Supportive girlfriends. We love to see it. Anyways. Deep. This goblin is single, but they're not actively looking. So, sorry everyone. Anyways, that's over 30, says Rex. Yup. I thought she's like thousands and oh yeah, Huggy Bear says, I thought she's like thousands of years old when it comes to bug years. A bit like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. And Rex says, that's over 30. I mean, correct. Yeah, she is very old. I'm pretty sure according to the lore and timelines of Hollow Knight, she is actually older than the bug whose name is Elderbug, which I think is very funny. Like, she could absolutely go up to him and be like, hey, kiddo. How you doing, sport? In fact, I think she should do that. She is simultaneously thousands of years old and also an absolute little guy. And I love that. I am a little dismayed that we're coming into the art month and I haven't actually finished the game. Because I have completely spoilered myself for some stuff. I didn't actually know that, says Huggy Bear, but that would make sense. I don't know if it's, like, confirmed, but it does in terms of just, like, timelines and lore and things that characters say. It does make sense, yes. But, yes. Don't accidentally paint over Unnur's butt. Or their cute little knee breeches and their funky little outfit. Oh, wow. Okay, Rex says, I've also heard Elderbug is not old, just elderly by choice. Oh, beans. He's one of those just, like, assigned peepaw at birth, but he's actually, like, 32. That would be very funny. Because there are people like that who are just, like, who just seem to just age into grandparenthood from a very early age. It's just like, how do you have the vibes of a grandma? You're like 21. You know, I mean, I think that there are certain interests that it's like such a cliche, but it feels like you kind of just age into them. Like, you know, it's like, ah, geez, I hit 30 years old and suddenly I develop an intense interest in birds. What's up with that? And guess what? I did that. I super actually did do that. So there you go. Okay. Anyways, but that be if he's actually just elderly by choice, that's very funny. Because I mean, there are lots of characters of various ages, and some which are sort of like ageless and ancient and forever and yada yada yada. But then also the idea that someone's just like, you know, I'm just gonna choose to be an old dude. I think that'd be fun, but they're not actually any older than anyone else is very funny and cute, and I love that. I mean, I do sometimes describe at least one aspect of my personal fashion sense as like a clown grandpa. Um, and I think that tracks. It's a lot of baggy trousers and button-up shirts tucked into them. Um, the baggy trousers I feel like give off a real clown vibe. That's not on purpose. I just don't really want to wear tight trousers because I find baggy trousers comfier, but also because I'm tubby and I'm 5 feet tall. Baggy trousers make me look like very squat and spherical, more so than I think I actually am. If I were to wear something more quote unquote flattering, but I don't care. There's more to life than, you know, oh, your legs are too short, wear this style of trousers. Your legs are too long, wear this style of trousers to try the kind of notion of fashion and dressing in ways that like either make parts of your body look bigger or parts of your body look smaller to try and make us all look like as close as we can by means of, you know, sort of dress illusions to some sort of mythical, like, midpoint of size that is the most flattering way a body can look. That's stupid and a bunch of bunk. And who cares? It's like, you know, let's say, for instance, you've got really broad shoulders. You know, conventional, like, fashion wisdom would tell you, oh, you should wear, like, this cut to minimize the width of your shoulders. But what if you think your shoulders are cool and you're like, nah, I'm gonna wear something that shows off just how, that makes my shoulders look even broader. Why not? Like, why is that not cool? Why is that not fashion? Like, who cares? Do what you want. Anyways, you know, if you have the exoskeleton of a bug and extremely long spindly legs, why not play that up? Like, you'll look cool, like Chakra. Anyways, sweetheart, I love you. My moderator / spouse has just moved from one room to another, and I had to make sure he still knows that I love him. Anyways, so that's my hot take about fashion. If you look like Chakra, that's cool. Especially if you're, like, human-sized. Imagine seeing that just, like, walking to the bus stop. Like, wow. Rex in the chat says hello, honey bunch. I think he said hi, but he's in the other room, so it's hard to tell. Anyways, spherical. I mean, I don't know how else I would describe my shape. I am roundish. Anyways, okay. I have sipped my tea. And now I shall carry on. Anyways, I don't 100% know what I'm going to paint on stream after this. I think I mentioned last stream that I do have quite an interest in doing some kind of like ex libris book plate type thing, and maybe doing like a sticker out of that. I think that would be super cute and very fun. I do have a shot, by the way, in case anyone is here and doesn't know that. You can find it right there. Ta-da! Anyways, but enough of that. My throat is giving me trouble now. That's great. But, I had a point. Where is it gone? Oh yeah, I want to do some kind of like ex libris book plate situation, but I haven't sketched out a design for that yet because I've been in panic mode for Holiday Art Month prep. Yay. But apart from that, I don't know. It is Autism Month, the month of April, so it's part of the reason that I decided to do a train painting, leaning into my special interests here, but also considering the possibility of what else is one of my special interests. You know, my special interests, by and large, like railway stations, supermarkets, for some reason, Star Trek, and something. Oh, and dress history. I do have another sewing project that I really want to start in on, as soon as I can. So I shall be doing that at some point soon. But I can't really do that on stream because it's a bit awkward to I also think it would be probably quite boring to watch, just like me hand sewing, you know. So yeah, but sorry, got quiet, was concentrating on not ruining this piece. But yeah, I think a little bit plate sticker would be fun. And I've got a whole bunch of birds that I've really wanted to paint for a while as well. Oh, birds. I don't know if birds counts as a special interest or just an interest, but I do really like birds as well. Robins in particular were a hyperfixation for a bit, and I will be finishing my short list of robin species in watercolor at some point, but I didn't want to do like nothing but robins for a really long period of time, so I kind of tried to spread those out so I'm not just doing like nothing but that, but doing other stuff in between. So I'll probably do one of those soonish, but I don't know. Probably not this month because I don't know how long that'll take me. I should go back to my VOD channel and actually see how many VODs it took for me to do 4 robins. I don't think it's too long because I don't give them a background or anything. I'm just doing the birds themselves, so it makes things a little bit faster and easier. Any particular thing about birds that's got your interest mostly? Like the singing or behavior, general, singing or maybe general behavior. I don't know. I just think they're neat. It's like, it's very not deep for me. I just think they're neat, which is feels like such a stupid answer, but I just like them. And I realize that this answer is sometimes kind of frustrating to people. But it's like, sometimes something just gets your attention and you're like, ooh, I like this. And that's it. You know? Do I like birdsong? Yes. Am I an expert in birdsong? No. When I see a bird, do I just get really happy? Yes. 100%. Do I like learning about birds and drawing and painting them? Very much so. Um, and I think it was the black robin, also known as the Chatham Island robin from New Zealand, that I learned more about sometime last year, and I was like, oh, this robin slaps. I love this robin because it looks very much like a Eurasian robin, like you're likely familiar with if you are based in Europe, but it's like its goth cousin. They're so cute. I am bringing up a photo so you can see just how gosh darned adorable these are. So just bear with for a second while I get that up on screen. Okay, you're gonna have to briefly look at my very poorly updated Instagram. I haven't posted anything in many days on here, but it's fine. I should probably get on that. I've been meaning to post something for a few days, but I've just not been feeling very well. And I know that every time I don't post something for a couple days, Instagram is like, haha, well, you know what? F you. We're gonna make your work even less popular in the algorithm. Get in the bin. Which is why this sweet little Mothman only has 13 likes, which makes me feel really sad. I don't know. I have never been able to not have a terrible time, like, having people actually find my work on Instagram. I have tried all of the hints, tips, and tricks to grow your Instagram account. None of them work for me. The only people who ever see my Instagram content are people who are already following my account. So I get no new people interested in my work from Instagram. Ever. This has been the same for years. Try as I might. It's a pain in the backside. And so just decided to not care about it because, like, whatever. There are other places I can share my work as well. I still share it to Instagram because it's good, but I don't have to just do it. What else was gonna say? Something Instagram. This is the Black Robin. Are they not just the heckin' cutest little perps you ever did see? But, like, so goth. So goth. I love them. So cute. Anyways. I never knew a Eurasian robin was what it is. We just call them, red chest, diminutive. Oh, that's so stinking cute, Huggy Bear. I love it. I love it very much. Back in the old country, in Canada, we had the North American robin, which we also would just call robin redbreast as well. They're usually just robins. We would just call them robins. That's not a robin. It's not red, says Dan. Oh, Dan, you'd be surprised. Hold, please. Hold, please. The most recent robin painting that I posted to my Instagram was this one, which is the collared bush robin, who is found in Taiwan. And is also mostly not red. It's got a little flash of orange, sort of in the vicinity of its neck. But the rest of the tummy is yellow, and the rest of it is kind of black and brown with a big white eyebrow. So, yes. Red tummy equals robin, says Dan. That's scientifically... Listen, I feel like I am the most boring, fun-ruining individual because I am very... I like things to be accurate a lot of the time. I'm very, like, the kind of person who, like, correcting the kinds of, like, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago, I can't remember, about how the convention of, like, oh, well, the first season of every Star Trek show is bad, so, just give it a chance. It's like, okay, like, I recognize the intent of saying that, but also factually, that just isn't the case. A lot of the time, they seem worse or more uneven if the show gets better over subsequent seasons, but also sometimes it's you're just thinking about one, and that case sticks out to you and makes it feel like they all are. But that statement is not nearly as fun and, useful as just a thing you can say as all of them are bad, But I like robins too, but only the proper red one, says Dan. Dan! Robins equals red, tits equals blue, doves equals white. Dan! Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, you are not an ornithologist. So I'm not sure I can take I can take this as, and in fact, I have to refute something with you, on that. I think you'll find, if I can get one of these photos to load correctly, I think you'll find, why is this so tiny? Why is this image so small and low res? God damn it. I am being thwarted by Google image search. Very uncool. Anyways, I'll try. Let me hold. Everyone has left the stream, but listen. Okay, this is the best I can do. This is the best I can do in terms of size. So please bear with. But I think you'll find this robin is pink. It's still a robin. Anyways, hi Katie, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. This robin is pink. Still a robin. Still a very good bird. This one's from Australia. I love them very much. How stinking cute is this little guy? So yeah, I enjoy robins at the moment. I'm having a moment with robins the last several months. They are simply adorable. We have a lot of adorable birds on my doorstep, to be fair. I get to see magpies. I love magpies. I get to see, occasionally I will see a tit or two of the, sometimes blue, sometimes great, sometimes coal. Usually one of them's. And I think they are very cute. My absolute favorite, who I don't see very often just because they are so incredibly tittle tiny, but they are so adorable and gorgeous, and I love them so much, is the gold crest. We get gold crests here. Don't see them super often, and they're so little. They are, I believe, the smallest native bird on this landmass. And I love them with all of my heart. They're so cute. They are so cute. I can't even, with how stinking cute these little guys are. It is delightful. Anyways, I'm getting confused what doots I need to paint in. Okay, so this one is blank, and then this one, and then not that one. Yeah, I think so. Owner's feet are in the way. It's very confusing. They're little. They grew up near the beach. They're often quite happy being barefoot. But they're on public transit, so they're wearing shoes. 'Cause you never know with public transit where it's been. So for safety, you know. Anyways, anywho. Okay. We're almost done with the color brown, chat. Are you excited? I'm excited. I'm probably too excited for this. This has taken quite a while to get done. And this isn't even like done. This is just one color. But it's the one color that I think occupies the most space on this doot. So, it's taken the most time to get in there, and also now that I've kind of used this color to establish how the pattern works, I think it's going to be a lot easier to just plug in the other colors and make it make sense. So, also quite excited for that. Anyways, I have mentioned this about 500 times, but it remains the case. I am looking to get some new gouache paints, and I am this close to doing it because I also need to get some, hello again, I have stable internet. Congratulations, it's lovely to see you again. Hello, hello. Any blackbirds in your area? Asks Huggy Bear. I think that's what they're called. We say, Meryl. Yes, we do have blackbirds. They're very cute. I once filmed a rap battle between two of them in a tree. Aw, nice. We do have blackbirds. We have several birds that are black. We do have like the quintessential blackbird. Sometimes we have corvids, various corvids, jackdaws. We have I love jackdaws. They're so can't squash the gouache, says Cranky. Yeah. We have I think jackdaws are some of my favorites actually. I painted a jackdaw last year. I was really happy with that. I love their little faces. I think they're so cute. But yeah, I do like a blackbird as well. And pigeons. I love pigeons. Pigeons are special little creatures, and I love them very much. What else do we have? I don't know. I know for absolute certain I'm forgetting a ton, but my brain is porridge, just as my lunch was. This is true. I did have porridge for lunch. It was delightful. How many of their calls do you recognize? Asked Cranky. Jeez. Jeez, no, don't quiz me. I don't know. It all just kind of becomes like a cacophony of I don't know who's singing. There's like 20,000 of them all going up in a tree, and then there's someone going and then there's somebody just sort of going and one of them might actually be a car horn. So the answer is a resounding no. That is not recognizing them by sound is not my specialty, unfortunately. I do love Western Jackdaws, cheeky little boogers, and they're so cute, Huggy Bear. They're so stinking cute. I love their little faces. I just you make me so happy. I just like listen. I'm not very intelligent. I'm bad at science. I just think they're cute. I get it. The sonic milieu of local birds. Milieu. Milieu? I think it's that. I think it's that. I think. I haven't had to type it out in a long time. But yeah. Anyways, so here's an attempt. I feel like it's starting to look like public transit seat maquette. I hope it is. Katie says, if you've got corvids in the area, that car horn may well be a creative corvid. That's true. They are very smart. They are very smart and good at noises. Last time I posted a bird painting to Blue Sky, someone simply replied by sending, by attaching a, like, TikTok video of just a whole bunch of birds making fun noises. It was delightful. Anyways, it was such a surprise when I moved to a new country. A lot of our birds are named after their calls. Yeah! There are, chickadees is one I can off the top of my head. And I think there's definitely, I do wonder if that's how, I do wonder about some birds about, like, did somebody think that this sounds like, that, like, the name of them sounds like the sound that they make? Probably not so much a jackdaw, but maybe like a tit, like if they ever go sort of like tit tit tit, you know, that kind of thing. But like Bam TV sounds like it's saying Bam TV, which means it's good to see you. That's adorable. What a polite little burb. I mean, I think that's a really useful way of naming birds. It sounds like it's saying, you know, whatever. Huggy Bear says the Western Jackdaw is called a caw in my language, which is exactly a name like a, yeah, exactly. Oh, that reminds me, there was a short story written by Jack Handy. And it went something like, It seemed to him as though the crows were calling his name, thought Caw. I mean, yep. Ah. A classic deep thought there from Jack Handy. Um, I had a whole book of his deep thoughts back in Canada. It was probably somewhere in my parents' house. Anyways, I'll be back in just a second. Blah. Okay, sorry. I had to blow my nose. And then cough a lot. Cranky says, I really thought, and ghetto are too. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of the names are native names, so they sound awesome already. Yeah, that's rad as heck. I love that. I'm trying to think of other ones that like I can think of off the top of my head, and obviously my head has just entirely stopped working. So, nope. Oh, Katie says for a while as a kid I thought crows were laughing at me. Oh, that's so sad, but also so sweet. That's really sweet. I assure you they are not. And if they are, then they're mean. Okay, I am looking up London Overground train interior again because I need to get some seat pictures up as reference to see what order the color upholstery goes in. Okay, I think I'll start at the top with green. It looks like green, yellow, orange on the. It looks like green, yellow, orange on this one, so that'll do. The crows were laughing with you, says Cranky. They love to laugh with others. Aw, see now that is really sweet. That adorable if true, and I'm choosing to believe that it is true because that's adorable. Okay, so I'm just using this happy little green for our green segments. I'm going to start with green up here. Doop. And hope for the best. Am I nervous? Yes. Because, I mean, ultimately, if this seat maquette ends up looking really ugly or strange, the painting is bad. They'll share gossip if your patience is cranky. Oh my goodness. The birds don't talk to me too much, though I always say hello. I always say hello when I see a magpie. Because it's polite. Hello, Mr. Magpie, I say to the little magpie. And if there's more than one magpie, I say hello, Mr.'s Magpies. Because that is how you correctly pluralize Mr. Magpie, of course. Oh, does this look good? I don't know. I just don't know. I can't tell anymore. Oh, jeez. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what happened to my voice there. I went like maximum grandpa. Sometimes it just happens to me. Anyways. Magpies are so rude bullying other birds. I've never seen any bully behavior from the magpies in my neighborhood. Maybe the magpies of Oxfordshire are more polite. They always seem quite polite to me. I haven't painted magpies in a couple of years. I did some magpies for Pride Month a few years ago. And I subtly rejigged their plumage to reflect the ace and aromantic pride flags. So they were a pair of little arrow ace QPP of magpies. It was very fun. We have a lot of native parrots in my city. I'm really curious how they communicate with each other, says Cranky. Oh, probably making parrot noises. Because we already know they're smart and can learn our language. But the way wild ones chatter, it's like it's from another planet. I genuinely don't know. I know that parrots can obviously learn to, like, parrot human speech. I don't know how much they understand context of language. Like, in terms of, I don't know, parroting each other, says Huggy Bear. I'll see myself. Oh, no, don't go. That was good. Thank you. Oh, beans. Okay. I don't know. There are a couple of like a couple of Instagram accounts that just post, you know, someone who has birds and just posts videos of their birds and they get recommended to me. And there's a couple of little parrots that will just, you know, be like, "Hi baby, I love you," and then like give each other little smooches on the top of their heads, and it's so cute. And I'm just like, "Aw, that's like me and my moderator slash spouse." I'm always going up to him and pestering him and getting right in his face and being like, "Hi baby," as well. So you know, like I relate to that content. Um, I do genuinely. How my moderator slash spouse is a very patient man. So, yeah, I am so grateful to have married such a patient man. I don't know if I deserve this level of patience and grace afforded to me by this incredibly patient man, because God, I must be annoying to live with. Um, there's been research on this recently, says Cranky. Google says corvids and parrots understand context and language, not just mimic. That is super cool. That is super cool. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to a certain. There was the. Did you see the video of the bird? The bird says like. The bird says like bacon pancake, and then the owner's like, do you want to do bacon pancakes? And it's like bacon pancake. And she's like, okay. And then she does a little making bacon pancake song. And the bird is just like dancing the entire time. That's just going bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. And it's just like dancey dance, 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 dance. And it's like bacon pancakes, bacon, bacon pancake. It's so cute. It's so cute. Is his name Augie? That's adorable, Katie. Anyways, I loved that bird. That is so valid of them. Bacon pancakes is an earworm. Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. I don't even put bacon in my pancakes, but I do like the song. Adventure Time is good for all species, says Cranky. Yeah. I did enjoy Adventure Time. That was a fun show. There's a lot that I don't remember about Adventure Time, and I never saw like every episode. But I liked James Baxter. That was fun and weird. James Baxter. And he's just a horse that rides a unicycle or something and can say his own name in a horsey voice. It was delightful. Anyways, there we go. Bacon is a pancake side, not an addition, but I bet it works well, says Cranky. Her name is Augustine, but her Hugh mom calls her Augie. That's so cute, Katie. Thank you for letting me know. Who doesn't like James Baxter? Have you seen what he can do? Yeah, exactly. He makes people happy. I love James Baxter. He's the best. My preferred pancake edition is apples. I have a very vintage recipe for apple pancakes that I've been making since I was a wee little babby, and it's my favorite, and it's the best. It's in my first cookbook, and I recently discovered as a somewhat newly minted gluten-free person that it is super good if you use oat flour in place of regular flour. Oh my god, it's so good. Wait, you mean the character of the animator or both? As an animation nerd, the meta level of that episode is a treat. I do love that. When I gotta say, in like non-Adventure Time related situations where there have been mentions of the animator James Baxter, I'm so sorry to James Baxter, but my brain goes, James Baxter! Even though I know it's also just the name of a man who's an animator. James Baxter! But yeah. Anyways. I hope he doesn't mind. I'm sure it's fine. Anyways, what an honor it is to be immortalized in that way, I'm sure. But yes. Now then. Because, you know, as a person what does as a person what does usually non-animated art, I do still have friends and acquaintances who do work in animation as well as doing the static images. So I am somewhat familiar with that kind of thing. Imagine you run your own show. One of your idiots comes on as a guest animator. Not one of your idiots. One of your idols comes on as a guest animator, and you write a whole episode about how cool he is with a character that shares his name. That does feel like something I would do. I would love to do that. I mean, I would also love to run my own show, but here we are. I guess this is my own show and I'm running it, but I don't know if any of my idols would come on as a guest star. I've been rated by some pretty cool people, but most of those people are also my friends. I'm just friends with really cool people. Anyways, a break is coming up. So I'm gonna leave you on BRB screen for a few minutes so you won't miss anything. I'll be back really shortly. BRB, everybody. I'm back. Hi. Hello. Welcome back. Hello. Hope you had a good break. It's good to be back. And I shall be probably not going on too much longer, because I don't feel very well, but let's see if we can get another row done of this gubbins before we leave. And then maybe I can get the rest of it done. This painting is going to take forever, isn't it? I figure once this bit is done, it's going to all be kind of just fairly speedy from then on. But this bit is a lot. Anyways. Huggy Bear, thank you again for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely lurk, and thank you for hanging out with us. Cranky says, I'll animate for you if you start a show. I would love to do that, but it's unlikely. I said in the chat while we were on break, that, welcome back, Huggy Bear. Hello again. You missed the ad break, and that's about it, so good job. I had said if there were any means nowadays of my sneaking back into the TV/film industry, I'd be over the moon, not gonna lie, but it's unlikely for various reasons. Cranky says, if I can ever learn the plethora of skills I need to make my own little show, I want some Twitch friends around as voices at least. Hell yeah, I'd love to do a voice. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but it's really fun learning and making things anyway. Oh, for sure. What was I gonna say? I think it's unlikely I'm gonna find myself in a position where I'm able to, like, actually. I used to really want to, you know, I had things written, I had plans and hopes and dreams of, like, working in such an industry, and it kind of died because I deliberately ended some friendships with people in and around those industries because they were not good people and were bad to be around for me. But also, I imagine you can't get back because you violently burned every bridge, ran out swearing and flipping off everybody. More of what I think is known as an Irish goodbye. Just kind of blocked people on social medias and blocked at least one person's phone number, and just kind of let other related acquaintanceships slide because I didn't want to. I'm not going into details here because I don't want to. But it was unsurprisingly, you know, this is like 10-15 years ago. This was like #MeToo stuff. That I'm just like, I do not have the emotional fortitude to go through the public hellscape of talking about at the time. And so I decided to just, like, kind of let those ambitions go. And I had other stuff that I was focusing on at the time that was, you know, better for me, and still is better for me. So I'm like, yeah, no. There are certain social circles that I kind of, you know, that there are certain social circles where sometimes it's just like, okay, either I have to make a big public to-do about, like, why I'm not going to social events with, like, X person. It's, guys, it's a really long time ago, it's fine. But thank you. But you know, I've had in other situations, like there was someone that I had a weird kind of fall, like not this kind of thing, but someone that I just, for like personality reasons, had like a bad falling out with in my hometown, who was like a big name in the local like arts and music scene, which made things really challenging for me because I was also in the arts and music scene. Not so much the music side of things, apart from like going to other people's shows, but the art scene for sure. And that was quite difficult because every time I showed up at an event, there was just like the, oh god, is she going to be there? Is it going to be weird? You know, kind of thing. And so I started going to stuff less, especially if I was going on my own, because I was just like, I don't want to find myself in a situation where the only other people I know are people who are friends with that person because we are not friends. You know what? It's just, it's difficult. And even now when I like go back to visit my hometown, I haven't lived there for years, you know, like I'm part of different circles of acquaintance now. I'm fine. I'm very happy where I am and in my life at the moment, for the most part. You know, I have friends and people who love me, and it's all good. But whenever I go back to my hometown, I'm just like, oh no, I hope I don't run into anyone that I used to be friends with, who's friends with people from here that I don't like, or who decided for arbitrary and unknown reasons. Honestly, probably because I give off weird, off-putting autism person energy. I don't know. But, I always get really scared when I go back to my hometown that I'm going to run into somebody and just be like, should I say hi? And then I always have this fear in my head when it comes to like running into people that I haven't seen in a long time. It's like, what if I say hi and they genuinely don't remember who I am? That's going to be so embarrassing. So most of the time, if I see someone I recognize, I will try and like make it seem like I haven't noticed that they're there, and hope that it doesn't seem like I'm blanking them, and hope that they say hello first if they want to say hello to me, because then they can initiate the conversation and I can be like, oh my god, hi, it's good to see you, because it is good to see them. But I don't want to go up to somebody and be like, oh my god, Brian, it's so good to see you, and Brian's like, who the fuck are you? Pardon my French. That'd be so embarrassing. Hi, baby.
Who the fuck are you?
Oh no, my moderator / spouse doesn't remember me. Uh-oh. Anyways. And I mean, I did once find myself in a situation where someone came up to me and was like, oh my god, hi, it's so good to see you. I had no idea where I knew them from whatsoever. It was really embarrassing. I love you. He's just noticed the shirt I bought myself. And it's cool and sexy of me. No. You bought a model airplane. Yeah. Yeah. And some Hungarian decals for it, which is very cool and sexy of you. Just like this shirt is very cool and sexy of me. Do you want to see the cool and sexy shirt? Because I will show it to you. It's not all going to appear. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the entire design on screen at once. So it might be a bit of a slow pan. But, there he is. And it says, friend of Garrick. I love this so much. 6, says Huggy Bear. Hell yeah, that is correct. I'm so pumped for that shirt. It is by an artist named Will Burrows. I will get a link to their socials. He's giving those sexy eyes. He's doing the gay little jazz hands too. I love him. I mean, he's always giving the sexy eyes because he's obviously objectively the hottest character on Deep Space Nine. No, I'm sorry, that's Jetsia. But you know, he's in like the top 5. Quark is also in the top 5. Anyways, let me find the artist. And Keiko O'Brien. Anyways. Yes. Oh, okay, sweet. Apparently my browser just remembers the URL of his like website. So there you go. It's from the artist Will Burrows. I also have his anti-fascist Starfleet pin, which is also very cool and sexy of me to own. So, yeah, feel free to go give your money to that guy, because he does good work. I do like it, and he's a nice person. Anyways, but yeah, I look forward to getting a lot of mileage out of that top. I think it's delightful, and my favorite thing, and I love it, and it's good. Anyways, I had initially said I think I'm gonna try and finish the green row and then call it, didn't I? And now I'm doing the yellow row. I'm gonna do the yellow row, and then I'll go, because it is just going 7, and I need to make chickpea curry, which I am a normal amount of excited about. Oh, okay. Also, I'm having chest pains. Uh-oh. I'm having some chest pains. So I'm going to try and finish this up quickly, and then we'll go right out. I will be back tomorrow morning. Not unless it turns out that I'm more ill than I am today. I will be back tomorrow morning, playing some Silk Song. I can't remember where we are in the game. I will check the VOD to see what it is that we're up to at the moment, because I genuinely don't remember what we're doing right now. I think we defeated... Did we defeat Cherubio? I think we did. I need to figure out how I'm gonna get Cherubio into at least one of my artworks in Hollow Knight Art Month. I really, honestly, what I want to do with this art month is just shoehorn in as many cute NPCs as I can. I just want to paint all of the grinding some before art month. Yes, Huggy Bear, I'm trying to grind a bit. I will try to get as much done as I can. Maybe reveal some more lore, make some more progress, not get spoiled for too many things. Did I mention earlier I've been spoiled for things as a result of trying to look stuff up for the art month? I kind of knew this was going to be the case when I realized that, like, I'm not going to be finished the game in time for the art month. And that's fine. But I think I want to, as far as possible, do things that are in some way Silksong related, because I haven't gotten to do any Silksong art yet. Really. And there's just so many cool, cute little characters. I want to do fan art of New. I want to do fan art of, Pilby, my best friend Pilby. Oh, we did that last stream, I believe. I made the official, like, acquaintance of my best friend Pilby, the coolest little dude that ever there was. I love them with all of my heart. Game swallowed me whole, almost like Hollow Knight did, says Huggy Bear. That is so relatable. Genuinely. I love it. But yeah, Pilby. I want to paint Pilby. Pilby is such a good little buddy. I love them. And I'm so glad that we are friends. But also, I want to paint Krieg. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. I don't know if it's Krieg or Krage. Because it's almost Craig, but with an E instead of an A in the middle, and then like an E on the end as well, which makes it feel like maybe it rhymes with beige, like Crage. But I don't know if it's just like Craig, but it's almost Craig, like the regular name Craig, as in Craig the Toad Wizard, or if it's like, but there's an E instead of an A in the middle, so instead of being Craig, it's like Krieg, or is it Crage? I'm convinced you're just making up words right now, says Q2. No, you remember Krieg, the publican. I thought the sh sound, I don't know, says Huggy Bear. Well, that's the thing, we don't have a pronunciation guide. But let me, Krieg Silksong. Do we ever see, okay, I might need to look up a sprite sheet, because I don't actually know. Do we ever see, like, the bottom half of Craig, or is he always behind the bar? I I genuinely don't know. But I'm gonna try and zoom this in a little bit because it's real tiny on screen. Sorry, this is a little bit low res, but it's the best I can do. But for those who don't know, I'm talking about this guy. Crash. Like Crash. Zhuzh. I'm just saying zhuzh now. Crash. But yeah. I literally have no clue what you're talking about. This guy, Craig, the or Craig, the publican from Silksong. In the pub, the Halfway Home, which is an adorable name for a pub. Anyways, how do you pronounce crème fraîche? I pronounce it crème fraîche. Yes. Just curious if it's similar. Crème fraîche in English, or en français, crème fraîche. I hope that helps. Probably not at all. Ugh. Anyways, I was just wondering if it was similar to Huggy Bear. Not really. I don't know. I am interested in pronunciations and phonetics and phonology and phonemes and all that super nerdy stuff. I did study linguistics a bit at university, and I thought it was really interesting. They only had one course that was like specifically linguistics at the undergraduate level, I believe, but I sure took it, and I was like, I wish I could do more of this, but that's all I've got. Oh well, I wasn't expecting the actual French pronunciation. Sorry for my prejudice. Oh no, that's okay. I am as you may or may not know, Canadienne, which does mean that, well, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, because a lot of les Canadiens take French class, or at least les Canadiens anglophones, the Anglophone Canadians take French classes up to the minimum requirement for graduation and then stop. And I said no. And I said no because A, I'm interested in languages, and B, I have family who are French Canadian. And I was like, well, gee, I should probably, make an earnest effort. Because it's only fair, because they all speak English to me. So, but yeah, I don't think Good Bean Sammy will pick up on was that a South Park reference? I don't. Yeah, I don't. I haven't watched South Park since, geez. I had a friend in like my mid-20s who I think I watched about 3 to 5 episodes of South Park once with, while I was hanging out at their house. And that's it for the most recently, and that was almost 20 years ago. Good lord. Don't talk about your ages, chat. Yay. Hard to hear the difference between American English and Canadian accents. Fair enough. I usually can. There was I don't know if about a year ago. Actually, I don't know how long ago, but at least about a year ago, let's say, I made the acquaintance of a Canadian who, now I could tell based on their accent, was Canadian, and probably from not too far from where I'm from in Canada. And you know what he said to me? He was like, oh, American? And everyone in the room just looked at him like, oh no. Oh no. And I just shook my head and I said, buddy, I'm from Guelph. Which again is about half an hour from where this person grew up. I'll give you, I mean, some American accents are very obvious, of course, but I feel like some American accents can sound similar to Canadian. There are some American accents that I think are closer to like what people consider to be the Canadian stereotype than a more broad regional sounding Canadian accent. Specifically in kind of the north bits of the state, like the sort of either I want to say Minnesota, maybe. I want to say maybe Minnesota. Anyways, it might not be, but there's a whole episode on creme fraiche. Really interesting. But yeah, that wounded me slightly, but I certainly hope it wounded them harder, because of all the people to introduce themselves to me and be like, American? And I'm like, dude, we're from like the same place. Now, I know that to a certain extent I've picked up a couple of I've picked up some UK phonemes into my everyday speech. In part because I think I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because I like phoneme sounds and I just subconsciously pick them up and absorb them into my personal lexicon, or if it's a subconscious defense mechanism of almost, I want to say it's almost potentially, now this is just me psychoanalyzing myself, it's potentially an offshoot of the people pleasing tendency that a lot of neurodivergent people have to sometimes this bad, an unhealthy degree eventually, but part of the people pleasing is making your social interactions as frictionless as humanly possible, so you don't have to deal with people looking at you like you're from another planet, or the uncomfortableness that will come from you saying no to something you don't want to do, or that, whatever, so you just in the moment, or you're put on the spot, so you just say, yeah, I'll take on that project, even though in hindsight you're I should have said no. I don't have time to work on this, but I said yes because they put me on the spot, and I didn't have anything in my mental bank for that interaction, so I just said sure so that the interaction would end. Anyways, I think possibly the fact that I've picked up a bit of a lilt since moving here might be an offshoot of that tendency, because the more I sound like I blend in, the less people are likely to kind of something's different about you, and perceive me or have difficulty understanding what I'm saying in an interaction. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyways, but also, I think as an aspect of people pleasing, I don't find this particularly exhausting. If that's the reason that I do it. And I think it might be related to that. But a lot of other stuff, I'm trying really hard to let go of a lot of those tendencies, because eventually you find yourself just kind of overextending yourself to make things easier for other people in ways that are just damaging to yourself, and you shouldn't do that. If you can get away with doing that less, it's great. But yeah, let me catch up with chat because I'm missing some stuff, I think. I talk like an idiot on these streams because I don't know, I can't hear anyone else speaking. So this is probably the most unmasked I am in terms of interacting with people, because I'm in a room by myself reading things off of a screen. So I guess this is what I sound the most like when I'm just being myself. So if I sound unhinged, well, there you go. Anyways, Q2 says, South Park is what I used to improve my English massively. My biggest struggle back then was understanding Cartman. Oh, I mean, Cartman does have a very distinctive voice. I can't do it, but he definitely does. Oh, that hurt. I shouldn't have done that. Back then, he spoke a lot less clear as well, says Huggy Bear. That is the vintage of the show that I remember of, when probably that came out when I was, a teen. Anyways, don't talk about your ages, chat. But, yeah, Katie says, oh, mood, absolutely people-pleasing equals anxiety is supposed to go down. Yeah, supposed. Exactly, Huggy Bear. Q2 says, I was brave today and left a meeting that I was expected to attend, but realized within 20 minutes that I cannot help with at all. Just found myself sitting there listening and eventually typed in chat, I don't feel like I can help here and I will leave now. If you should require my input after all, just invite me back. I did not get invited back. That is so cool. That is such a just champion-ass move of you, Q2s. I love that. Man, I wish I had the wherewithal to do something like that sometimes, because there are absolutely times when it's like none of this is relevant to me and there is no input I can provide. Why am I here? And the answer might just be there is no reason for you to be in that meeting. Maybe they just invited you as like a courtesy. But you don't, if you don't have to be there, you can just leave. I'm so proud of you that you just left. I just hate wasting my time, says Q2's. Oh god, seriously. I mean, you know, I remember once I had a previous manager once who had an entire item on the agenda of our extreme time wasting meetings that we had that was all about you know, sort of like trying to be mindful of other people's time by not scheduling unnecessary meetings. And we're all just sitting there looking at each other like, yeah, Brenda, maybe we should try not scheduling unnecessary meetings. Names have been changed to protect my ability to be employed. Anyways, Q2 says the reason is the manager was an idiot and thinks they need to invite 10 people to a meeting where only him and one other person talk. Yeah. Unless all of those unless the things that they're talking about are relevant to all of those people and whatever they're talking about will directly impact what they're doing, they don't need to be there. But also, if you genuinely only need the 2 people in the room, they can discuss out whatever it is that they want to do and then just cascade that down through an email and be like, okay, we talked about this and we think this. And if people want to weigh in at that point, they can reply all. I got a little too heated there and hit my camera. Ah! The number of this could have been an email. It's just, you know, you gotta ask yourself, could this have been an email? And most of the time the answer is yes. Anyways, Huggy Bear says one of my best and then new friends never liked South Park. I introduced him to some of my favorite episodes. Nice. And ended up getting him hooked on the show. Mind corrupted poor soul of a bad person. Ah, beans. Those were the days. Katie says, the best thing about virtual meetings is being able to just slip out. Yes, exactly. Q2 says, okay, but then just write us an email. Yes, exactly, yes. Meeting culture frustrates me. Me too. Me too. The number of times that people are like, oh, but you know, the discussion that's generated in a meeting is like so good and so important. It's like, I can tell you quantitatively right now that no, it's not. This could have been an email and it would have taken so much less time. I promise you. Especially when it's a meeting that's happening like in person in a location that is really far from where at least half of the people attending the meeting are based, you know? It's like, you asked me to spend like 45 minutes to an hour commuting to this location for a 2-hour meeting. And then, you know, by the time I get back to my desk, my day's over. Like, my whole day is a write-off for that 2-hour meeting. Because it's taken me so long to get there and back. Especially, oh, well, the meeting's at 10:30 in the morning. It's like, I'm gonna have time to, like, switch on my computer, open a computer program, close it down again, and then go, so, like, stop it. Get some help. Anyways, the whole generating discussion thing only works if more than 2 people converse, says Katie. Yeah, that too. Q2 says, I work in tech, so the per hour salaries are rather high. I do the mental math for some based on my guesstimated hourly wage for everyone. Those meetings are expensive. Yep. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. Oh, and then there's meetings where there's any kind of, like, AV that needs setting up. Like, someone wants to share their screen on, like in, like, a boardroom or something like that, and they can't figure out how to hook up their laptop to the big screen to show you their PowerPoint. And it ends up taking, like, the first 30 minutes of the meeting. Having to get, like, an AV tech from who works, like, for the building to come and try and, like, set up your laptop and conclude with, well, okay, for some reason the system just doesn't like your laptop, so, and And they're like, okay, do we want to all just, like, huddle around and there's, like, 20 of you trying to look at their tiny laptop screen? Or are they going to have to, like, email it to somebody else and then use their laptop, but that person was going to take notes? Etc., etc. Bad. 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 Anyways. So there we are. But yeah. Fun stuff. Anyways, I don't think I'm going to do any more painting today. Insert screamy here, says Katie. Yep. Q2 says, it's crazy that it's 2026 and our meetings still start with, can you hear / see me? Can you see my screen? Yep. Uh-huh. I feel like this stuff should be relatively straightforward, but no. No. No, of course not. And then, you know, I've gotten into arguments with people about stuff like this, because I'm like, it just things where, again, this could have been an email or this is just a colossal waste of everyone's time, and they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, demonstrate to me a consistent added value of this not being an email. But of course, you know, nobody listens to me, so anyways. But so it goes. That is the nature of having jobs and working with other people sometimes. Luckily, that's not a problem for streaming on Twitch. So here I am. We can just hang out and have a good time. I can manage can you see / hear me, but if the asker is having connection issues, yeah, and sometimes it'd be like that. I've had network connectivity issues. All good stuff. Oh, Q2 says the monthly all-team meeting where the entire company has to attend. Another favorite of mine. Oh, I love that. Love that for you. In previous walks of my life, I've had those where, like, 90% of it is people you never interact with, talking about things that do not impact you in any way, shape, or form, for long periods of time. And just knowing that you will never have to know anything about 90% of the things being discussed in that room, and just nodding along just in case something comes up that's actually relevant to you, and it never is. Those are my favorites, because it's like, this is 2.5 hours that I'll never get back. I mean, technically, yes, it's work and you're getting paid for it, but man, it sucks. Anyways, whoever cooked that up should feel bad about wasting so many people's time. Yep. It's like, I could be answering emails right now. I could be doing things on a spreadsheet. I could be doing literally anything else, but I'm not. Thanks. Great. Love this for me. Anyways. Thanks for complaining along with me, chat. I'm all for firing the CEO. Always a good answer. Along with me, chat. I'm always a good answer. Anyways. Shall we go say hi to somebody? I feel like that would be a nice thing to do. I'm having chest pain, so I'll probably run away fairly quickly. Oh no. Can I hire Sammy as CEO? I don't think I have. The thing is, like, I think a lot of CEOs are terrible. I think, you know, I'm sure there are some very good CEOs out there. I've worked for some who were fine. But, for the moment, I don't think I have enough CEO brain to be a CEO. We're just gonna go say hi to Nephra and hope that they're not just about to end. Because my chest hurts and I think I need to go lie down. And then I have to go make curry. Yay! Anyways, so I'm gonna go. I'm sorry to interrupt a very productive chat, but the bar's not even the floor, it's in hell. You can only do better. I mean, thank you for saying so. I appreciate it. But yeah. I'll be back tomorrow playing some Silk Song. And thanks all for hanging out with me today. I'm gonna try not to die right now. I'll do my best, but we'll see. But in any case, thanks for hanging out with me. It's been fun. Where's the thanks for watching screen? There it is. I'll be back tomorrow morning playing some Silk Song. So thank you for hanging out with me right now. And good night. and good luck.